the easiest way to get in the best shape of your life after the age of 40. How do I have the audacity to talk about this as a 22-year-old? Well, my name is Coach Ábris and I'm the founder of Demi Cycle Protocol, the health coaching company which helped over 50 high achievers and corporate executives over the age of 40 and 50 over the past year to get in the best shape of their life, double the natural energy levels, get sustainably below 15% body fat, and to reach consistent 85 to 90 plus sleep scores on their orderings on that little device that we deliver to each of our clients' addresses to accurately and trackably measure their sleep quality and their recovery process. And if you don't believe us, you can look at the pictures, some of our successful client transformations, 40, 45, 50-year-old men, all in high-performing positions, entrepreneurs, executives, CEOs, and salespeople who just got tired of not getting results, got tired of following cookie-cutter plans and still not getting lean, not getting that ripped and energetic shape that they wanted to. They got tired of blaming their genetics, blaming their metabolism, and they wanted a sustainable solution where they get results and they get to keep the results on an ongoing basis. And how do you actually do that? How do you get there? Well, first I want you to understand, and just like one of my clients told me, and he worded it very accurately, that it's an entirely different science. It's a different ballpark, it's a different game to get 40 to 50-year-old man in shape, right? It's not like you're a college athlete anymore, right? You don't have infinite amounts of energy and time to train anymore. It's not like you're a bodybuilder or a powerlifter. You can actually go there every single day to the gym, train an hour or two, and absolutely destroy each of your muscle groups without any kind of particular recovery or rest in between, right? Because you're not optimizing your lifestyle around it, right? You might only have like 2 hours per week. You're very limited on your time resources or on your attention because you have more important things to do, right? But you still can't put your health on the back burner. You still have to take care of your health, to look after that so you can live longer, so you can be a present person for your family, for your company, for your team, and ultimately you can have that kind of confidence, that kind of gravitas that immediately evokes respect in investors, in business partners, and in important key strategic people in your life. So you just want to get to that point, but you have seen all of these fitness influencers, you have seen all of these bodybuilders who promote a certain type of lifestyle which is too monotonous, which is taking up too much of your time and requires boring and time-consuming stuff like counting calories. And I completely understand why you are a little bit upset with that, or why you might have those beliefs that it is not for you, you could never get there, and you're not going to get results, and you just completely gave up on your health, you gave up on going to the gym. But I want to tell you that this is wrong. So the activity itself is not a bad thing. The activity itself, getting in shape, the process itself is not something that's impossible for you. You just haven't found the right system for you yet that could help you sustainably get in shape and stay there for the rest of your life. So this is what we are going to discuss today, because as I said before, it's a completely different science, it's a completely different set of systems, right? How to transform your body and brain chemistry over the age of 40 if you are limited in time and your mental and physical bandwidth is being occupied with work, with business, with family, with managing all your network and relationships, right? It's not an easy task. And as someone who has corporate experience before and has worked with dozens of corporate executives before and achieving successful transformations, I compiled the most important factors that made our clients successful, and hopefully these tips will help you as well. So hopefully by the end of this video you will have more clarity on how can you structure this system, how can you structure your sleep, your nutrition and your training in a way that it's sparing for your joints, it supports your longevity, and it fits into your schedule as a business owner, as an executive, as someone working a high performing job, meanwhile being a dad, having a family, and having relationships to take care of. Okay, so let's start with the basics. What will you need and how you will need it differently than, for example, a bodybuilder or a powerlifter or any kind of athlete, like a college athlete, who can basically get blackout drunk until 2 a.m. and wake up the next morning at 4, get some cardio in, practice some drills, wrestle a grizzly bear, go to school, sit in lectures, and after that do another training session with weights, and then another drill practice at fucking 8 p.m., right? And not even feeling tired, getting blackout drunk again. So, you're not that type of person, right? Or at least not anymore. If you used to be consistent with football in college, or you used to play some sports, that's good for you. You've got some solid base, but you, of course, fell out of that consistency and you don't have those energy levels anymore. So how could you expect yourself, right, to follow a routine similar to that? So first of all, you want to acknowledge that this is a different game that you're playing right now, but it doesn't mean that you couldn't get into a phenomenal shape, right? Just like you have seen my client transformation. So what you want to remember is that you want to abandon all of those activities that used to take up a lot of time for you when you were in shape, right? Because ultimately those are not the activities that got you in shape in the first place, right? For example, one of these is counting calories, right? Is a caloric deficit, so eating less calories than what you burn, is that necessary for fat loss? Yes, it's 100% necessary. Is a caloric surplus necessary for muscle gain, so eating more calories than what you burn? Yes, absolutely necessary. But do you need to track calories to get there? No. So it's interesting when I ask my clients what made them successful with their health in the past and what makes them unsuccessful today before they became my clients, they answered me all that. They did. So almost none of them answered me that it was counting macros and calories, but it was like having my go-to meals, being conscious and consistent with my nutrition. And they didn't mention particular quantities, gram amounts, calories, or macronutrient portions or proportions, right? They haven't mentioned this. All they said was consistency with a nutrition plan that was easy to prepare or easy to get, easy to obtain somehow, and it was easy to follow because it tasted good. So this is what you want to be going for. So how do you make sure that you can be successful with fat loss or muscle gain, just generally recompositioning your body without having to count calories? So I would say track the things that really matter and take very little amount of time. And the first one that you want to track is protein intake, because protein intake will ultimately decide how satiated you are by the end of the day, how much you're craving things other than protein. Probably if you're eating enough protein, about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight or 2 gram per kilogram of body weight, probably you're not that hungry. Your appetite will go down, right? You don't want to eat as many sweets. You don't want to indulge in as many garbage food if you have enough quality protein, animal-based protein in your body. Why animal-based? Because those have these full-chain amino acids which can be synthesized in your muscles. Without being too scientific about it, you can't build muscle from plant-based proteins except for soy, but soy has many hormonally disruptive estrogenic side effects, so it makes you more woman-like, if you will. So I wouldn't recommend consuming soy. However, if you consume the same, or like certain types of plant-based protein sources within the same 12 hours, you can get full proteins out of that, but that's very difficult, right? Like timing when you consume grains with legumes and stuff like that, you don't want to do this, so that's why I particularly do not support restrictive diets, for example, the vegan diet. But getting back to nutrition itself, because I always prefer saying nutrition instead of dieting, because dieting is temporary, that's a tactic, that's a gimmick that you can follow for a certain amount of time, then you just fucking forget about it and then you start eating like crap again and you gain all the weight back. It's definitely something you want to avoid. And instead of dieting, you want to embrace nutrition, because nutrition strategy is long term, and if you already have business experience, you already know this, that strategy always outcompetes tactics. If you have a long-term strategy in mind, you are more likely to be successful, because you know the timeless things, the timeless activities and actions that will take you to a certain goal. So why would you rely on tactics when you can rely on strategies that will never go old? And protein intake for muscle growth and for fat loss is undeniably a timeless strategy. So if there is one macronutrient I advise tracking, it's protein. And you can do it either with a meal tracking app and it takes less time than counting calories, or you can just remember a couple of your go-to foods, like how many grams of protein they have per certain amount, right? So if you remember that, okay, let's say sirloin steak is your favorite and it contains 21 grams of protein per 100 grams, so you know you are eating 300 grams of sirloin for lunch. That means you got 63 grams of protein in from the sirloin itself. So now you've got yourself a staple. I always recommend having like 3 to 5 go-to recipes, because the less time you spend thinking about like what to eat, the less likely you are to indulge in some garbage, right? Because you know exactly what you will be eating, you know exactly that you like it. It's one of your go-to recipes or your go-to foods to order, right? Or the go-to food to eat at a restaurant, because we also give like restaurant protocols for our clients, specifically on where they prefer to eat. And you will be aware of the amount of protein that you're eating. Or the easiest way to go about it is just like take a picture of that, send it to your coach, and your coach probably has years or decades of experience on looking at a food and telling you with 95% confidence interval that how much and of what is in there. So with some of my clients we do this, and that's how we track their protein, and apparently, as you can see with the pictures, they are getting amazing results this way. So you don't necessarily have to track calories. You can make sure that you're in a deficit if you're just generally eat a high protein diet, and you make sure that the carb sources next to the protein are high volume with low energy. So instead of rice, let's say you're eating sweet potatoes, because sweet potatoes are large in size but not so dense in nutrients, right? So in 100 grams of rice, dry measured, you can find 77 grams of carb. Meanwhile, in 100 grams of sweet potatoes, maybe you can find like 20 to 25 grams of carb. So that means that from a nutrition point of view, or like a space point of view, like sweet potatoes are 4 times more satiating compared to white rice. So do the math for yourself. I think this makes the most sense to you, to eat big food with little energy. So you can eat it guilt-free, just like Icelandic skyr yogurt, just like papaya, just like watermelon. Watermelon is amazing for satisfying your sweet cravings as well, but more on that later. So track your protein and make sure you're eating large volume, low energy carbohydrates and veggies, and you can eat fruits and whatever. So nothing is restricted. You can easily eat like this 80% of the time, and 20% of the time you're allowed to indulge in some pizzas and ice cream and whatever you prefer. So your diet won't be boring, your nutrition won't be boring, and you won't get tempted to cheat that much, right? So this is just part of your diet. It's not a cheat day, it's not a cheat meal, it's part of your nutrition strategy. And this way, your meal plan will be so good that you don't feel like you need to cheat on it, right? So if your wife is so good that you're satisfied with everything about her, like why would you cheat on her, right? And as I mentioned in one of our previous videos, we don't work with cheaters, we don't work with liars, we don't work with receivers. We have values, we have morals in Demi Cycle Protocol. So keep that in mind if you happen to, or if you're on the fence of working with us and you are not a man of honesty and integrity, probably we are not a good fit to work together with each other. But circling back to the topic itself, what is another way of making sure that you don't need to track calories but can still lose fat? So this is tracking your sleep. So next to protein, I think the most important metrics to track are sleep metrics. And this is why for every one of our clients, we send out an ordering to their address. They put this little device in their fingers and it starts tracking their respiration, their heartbeat, and different type of metrics that gives them feedback about their sleep quality. Because sometimes it's not the sleep quantity that really matters, but the sleep quality, how well, how deep, how efficient you sleep. Countless of different metrics, but what we really look at is that, okay, now we have daily data on their sleep, and based on the daily data, we give them daily feedback on what to improve, what to optimize, how their personalized pre-bed routine should look like, what kind of supplements or birth they can, how the environment should be set up, and all these different factors. And why is it so important? So how does sleep help you in fat loss? So I wanted you to understand that it all gets decided in your brain and in your hormones all over your body. So the better you sleep and the more time you spend in the so-called deep sleep phase, the more testosterone and growth hormone you will produce. And the common thing between like testosterone and growth hormone is that both of them are promoting fat loss and the accumulation of lean muscle. So you will get stronger but leaner. You will appear younger at the same time, especially due to growth hormone. Growth hormone is also referred to as a fountain of youth. And of course, you wouldn't mind having a little bit more elastic skin and healthier joints at the age of 40 or 50. Not just for the purpose of vanity, right? But just for, maintaining yourself, maintenance, right? So if you want to keep the quality of an old-timer car, you will always put in some work, you will always invest some money into the maintenance of it. The same thing is happening with your body, right? If you want to keep yourself as the Rolls Royce from the 70s, right? Then you want to treat yourself like a car from the 70s that has been maintained ever since, right? So this is the type of mindset that you want to cultivate if you want to be successful with your health goals over the age of 40 or 50. And getting back to the sleep as well, there are other hormones that play a very important and crucial role in this entire equation, and that's ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin is hunger hormone, and the deeper and more efficient you sleep, the less of that you will end up producing. So you won't feel that much hungry, don't have such a big appetite during the day, and this is perfectly paired with leptin. The more you sleep, the better you sleep, the more leptin you will end up producing, which is a satiety hormone. So less food will be enough to satisfy yourself, and you will be less hungry as you have less ghrelin, hunger hormone, produced in your body. So the more efficient your sleep is, the better off you are, and the less food will be enough to feed you properly, and probably you will need less food in general. You won't really crave that. So we have hit out your sweet cravings, we have hit out your hunger, and actually less food is enough to satisfy that appetite that you already have. So we have also boosted your metabolism with testosterone, with growth hormone. So things are looking better, right? So now that you are not tracking calories anymore, but you're tracking your sleep, you're tracking your protein intake, you're feeling better, right? It's very important because protein is the building blocks of your muscles. Muscles burn a lot of energy. They are the most expensive for your body to maintain. So the more lean muscle mass you have, the more calories you end up burning while you rest. While you're not doing anything but just sitting on the couch, yeah, right? Watching your favorite podcast or show or Netflix, whatever. You're watching a movie with your wife and you're burning more calories than someone with less muscle mass than you. And I think it's a huge advantage. You definitely want to leverage this. I would say 10 to 15 pounds of lean muscle, so only that amount is a life changer. It's a life changer for most men. So just experiencing that is something that more than 96% of men today are not experiencing and not enjoying the benefits. They get sarcopenia after the age of 50 or 60, so the muscle starts dying away year by year, and they lose their bilateral balance, they start falling over, they start walking with a stick, because they lose their control over their muscle and their muscle mass in general. So definitely you want to eat a high protein diet, which also this boosts your metabolism. So protein takes more calories for your digestive system to digest, and then for your body to metabolize and any of the other macronutrients. So make sure that at least half of your plate at each meal is 50% protein, at least 50% protein, and the rest can be a division of carbs and fats according to your preference. Of course, the more high volume, low energy carbs are on a plate, the better off you are at the end of the day. So, okay, now that you're tracking your protein, you're tracking your sleep, you're not tracking calories, what else do you want to do? You want to increase your DMT, and by DMT I don't mean the hippie drug, I mean daily movement targets. Because now that you got your food intake under control and your appetite under control, the other weapon that you can use for fat loss is just mostly passively moving more, right? You can't schedule hour-long cardio workouts over the age of 40 or 50. You have more responsibilities. You gotta be present for your kids. You gotta stay on top of your business endeavors. So you just can't be on the treadmill for hours every day, or sprinting out there, or swimming miles, right? What you want to be doing is just generally increase the step counts that you take per day. And please don't fall for the fitness gimmicks and these marketing tricks that everyone's trying to sell you. That, okay, 10k steps per day, 10,000 steps per day. Like, the entire fitness industry is full of noise, and the same people regurgitating the same thing, having no idea about creating valuable content and giving realistic advice for people. And I think the realistic advice for men over 40 and 50 is not starting straight away from 10,000 steps per day, because most of you haven't taken more than 4,000 on an average day in the past 10 years. So why would you do 10,000 right away? Start from a realistic 6,000 to 8,000, because that's going to be already a big jump for you, but sustainable enough to maintain this kind of step count target for the rest of your life. And later on, when the fat loss process gets more intense and you want to get some extra fuel to the fire, you can bump it up to 7,000 to 9,000, 9,000 to 11,000, 12,000 to 15,000. Then at that point you should be shredded to the bone, my man. So this is what you want to remember, that set realistic targets, but keep them every single day. So set a target that even if I wake you up at 3 a.m. in the morning with a gun to your head, right? You could do that. You could promise me that you will do that the next day, no matter how busy you are, no matter if you have a new kid born on that day, or if you are packed with sales meetings, whatever. Do whatever it takes to get to that step counts. And if it is easy and sustainable for you, then this is your golden step count. This is what you should be accountable to. So if it is 7,000 steps per day, it is 7,000 steps a day. If you get it in while taking some calls, meanwhile you're walking, yeah, do it that way. Or if you have to spend your entire day in the office, then do it that way. Get an office treadmill. So, right under your desk. Meanwhile, you're doing your deep work sessions, you are catching up, you're doing meetings, whatever. You will be walking, and accumulating a lot of steps. By the end of the day, you will be surprised how much you can do if you really get your mind into it and you really stay consistent with that. You can always stack these habits on top of each other. So that's why I'm saying DMT, daily movement targets, are super important for you. And the next one is going to be the workout splits. Let's talk about that, because my biggest problem is that these bodybuilding and fitness coaches, they're all selling you programs that are cookie cutters, that are trying to copy like a pro athlete's routine. Meanwhile, for you as an executive or entrepreneur or a busy dad in your 40s and 50s, probably you don't have that much time, right, to go to the gym 5 or 6 days a week and spend there at least an hour, but just going there, getting changed, and then getting the sauna session and stuff like that. Sometimes it takes up to 2.5 hours. You don't want to do that shit. And of course, if you do not have the proper environment, that do not have a gym nearby, then you gotta utilize what you've got. You gotta use your environment. And the ideal split, the ideal workout split for entrepreneurs and executives, that what we found over the years in Demi Cycle Protocol, is that anywhere between 150 to 180 minutes of intense training on a weekly basis. So this adds up to 2.5 to 3 hours of intense workouts on a weekly basis, divided into 2, 3, or 4 sessions. So the best split that you can follow as an entrepreneur or an executive or as a high performer with a busy schedule is basically full body workout twice per week, full body workout 3 times per week, or an upper lower split, or an upper lower split with a rest day in between, or an upper lower full split. So I have told you a couple of split possibilities for a 2, 3, and a 4-day split. So how does that work? Is that you're not doing so-called bro splits, what bodybuilders are doing, that Monday you are doing chest with biceps, Tuesday you are doing legs, let's say Wednesday you are doing back with biceps, then Thursday you're doing chest with triceps and delts, and then you're doing legs again, or whatever. So it doesn't work like that. We do not separate the muscle groups that much, but we make sure that we are efficiently training them all at the same time. And if you think that's not like optimal for muscle growth, like look at this animal, like look at this dude. He's my client. He's Devin, 46 years old, dude. So you think you can't grow muscles and can't get lean without following the bro split? Like bro splits are actually less effective because they are for bodybuilders who use steroids, but for you as a natural lifter who doesn't use any kind of exogenous hormones to enhance his body performance, well, for you, actually you want to train with higher frequency, you want to train with less volume, you want to use lesser amount of sets per muscle group per week in total, right, and per training as well, because you want to go for intensity and high frequency, because your protein synthesis is much shorter than for an athlete who is using anabolic steroids. So let me word this again so everybody understands. As an athlete who uses steroids, you can get away with completely killing, murdering, brutally assaulting a muscle group in an hour or two and not even touch it until the next week, because your protein synthesis is open for an entire week or so, right? As a natural athlete, this process is not that much open for you longer than 24 to 48 hours. So the more frequently, so you can train the muscle groups more frequently, but you can't murder them because your recovery won't be of a person who used steroids, right? So that's the difference between the two. With steroids, you have more recovery and the longer protein synthesis. As a natural, you have lower protein synthesis, and you can't recover from completely murdering all of your muscle groups all the time. So this is what you need to understand. This is the difference. So this is why it's beneficial for you to train one muscle group 2 to 3 times per week with low volume and high intensity. Intensity means like how hard that set is. So the weight, the time under tension, the duration of the set, the number of the repetitions within the set. So what is the total amount of workload that your muscle is doing during that period, right? And this is what we go heavy on, but of course not until complete failure, but we do go heavy on this, and we do improve this for our clients every single week when we update their plans. A plan update, you shouldn't imagine it's like we are switching the exercises. No, we are switching the performance levels according to the performance level of our client this week. So we always ask them to send us one video of one set of each of the exercises, so we can see how well they're doing it, how easy they found it, how smooth it went, and based on that we do the math, update the plan for them next week, so they can keep progressing on a weekly basis without being injured or ego lifting or lifting with bad form that later on again leads to injuries. So we are believing in prevention before treatment. So these are exactly the reasons why we are using these workout splits that I mentioned instead of bro splits, right? So if you want to train full body twice per week, like 2 50-minute workouts, you can easily do that full body twice. Or you can do 3 40-minute workouts, 3 40, 45-minute workouts. So 3 full body A on Monday, full body B on Wednesday, full body C on Friday or Saturday, whatever you prefer, right? Or you can opt for an upper-lower full split. So you want more emphasis on the upper body on Monday, and you can go for lower body on Tuesday, and later on Thursday or Friday you can train your full body again, just like moving through all the muscle groups. And usually what we do is like, there's no golden rule for that, but it works the best for our clients to have 4 to 9 sets, like 4 to 9 heavy and intense working sets per muscle group per week, right? And it doesn't matter if you do like full body A or full body B or full body A, B, C, or upper body, then lower body, then 2 rest days, and then full body, right? Or like upper body A, upper body B, rest day, upper body A, upper body A, lower body A, rest day, upper body B, lower body B, or you can change the upper and the lower, whatever you prefer, right? I would generally advise for starting with lower body, because that drives up your testosterone levels. It's very healthy for you, and it will also help you develop your upper body better. We will get to that why exactly. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what kind of split you're using, the frequency will be there, and the total amount of workload that you're doing on a weekly basis will be the same. Now it's just up to you to find the right exercises that are suitable for your environment and your available equipment, and of course to have some extra pair of eyes to look at your form and make sure it's going smooth, and someone who can program, because programming is very important, it's key. This is where your workout either succeeds or fails. How well it is being programmed, how well your recovery based on your ordering stats are being considered when it comes to programming your next week, or putting together, assembling your next week's performance goals, right? And these are all numbers, and we do the numbers for you. So this is why Demi Cycle Protocol is widely known among like tech founders, data scientists, and generally entrepreneurs and business people who really like to be aware of their numbers, their benchmarks, their KPIs, right? I'm pretty sure that you also like to be aware of your numbers, how your business is performing. So this is what we exactly do, just with your body, with your health, and you outsource this to us, and we give you the numbers, and based on the numbers, we develop the roadmap for you for your progress. Okay, but now that you are familiar with all this, and you kind of know how an ideal workout plan would look like for you, and it wouldn't take necessarily longer than like 30 to 50 minutes per workout, right? Or even shorter. We have had some clients like doing these so-called 15-minute blitzkrieg workouts and getting amazing results from those. Were they intense? Yeah. Were they burning? Hell yes. Were they hard? Yes. Were they simple? Also yes. Were they worth it? Also yes. Did they get amazing results on the program? 100%. So this is how you should think of training splits, and this is why you should not train like a bodybuilder, you should not train like a gym rat, you should not become a boring gym bro, right? This is very important. Okay, how else you can make fat loss easy as someone over the age of 40? It's very important that you want to hit out your sweet cravings, and you want to focus on longevity, and you want to avoid consuming those supplements that might be a little bit harmful for you and your heart. So if you happen to struggle with high blood pressure or heart palpitations and stuff like that, you might want to avoid caffeine-based pre-workout supplements. You might want to switch to simply watermelon. Why watermelon, and why do I talk about watermelon all the time? Is that, first of all, it's big but low in calories. So I mentioned this before, it's beneficial for you because you can fill up that parking lot in your stomach but with less carbs, so less calories. And the other thing, it hydrates you amazingly, and you will need hydration. You will need electrolytes and water together to energize your muscles and your brain, so you can, stay your ground in your most demanding times or your hardest workouts. Super important. But the real sauce in watermelon is citrulline and lycopene. Why? Citrulline is an amino acid which boosts your blood flow. It's transformed into arginine, and that transforms into nitric oxide in your bloodstream, which enables that your blood vessels will get bigger, wider, and your blood flow will be boosted, your blood pressure reduces, and the nutrients, the oxygen and everything, all the molecules get to your muscles sooner. So you will have an amazing pump, and also it helps with erectile dysfunction. It has been used as an aphrodisiac for years. So watermelon is amazing for regaining your vitality in the bedroom as well, maintaining your erections longer, and basically just lasting longer in bed. So both for gym pumps and both for pumps in the bedroom, it's an amazing natural supplement. So eat more watermelon, guys. And the other thing is lycopene. Lycopene is a plant pigment in watermelon and also an antioxidant, which helps you reduce your blood pressure, and it's very healthy, and it's a much better pre-workout alternative for men over 40 and 50 rather than the ones stuffed with caffeine. The problem with most citrulline supplements nowadays available in the market, because of course there are caffeine-free pre-workouts, but their citrulline is underdosed and they usually do not contain lycopene, unlike watermelon. So yeah, the market is garbage today. I will be working on improving this, but for now all I can see is eat more watermelon, especially if you're a man over 40 or 50, and just enjoy the benefits, enjoy the hydration, enjoy the pumps, enjoy the erections, and enjoy that it fucking tastes good. It satisfies your sleep cravings, man. You can have watermelon instead of candies. You can have as much as you want. It's so low in calories. You could eat a pound right now, pound of watermelon, and still be under 300 calories. So it's such a small amount, right? So you can eat it for, absolutely guilt-free. And actually I'm working on a watermelon cookbook right now with my favorite recipes that you can prepare with watermelon in less than 5-10 minutes. So as soon as it's going to be out, maybe by the time I post this video it will be ready, so I can put that in the description. That would be pretty epic. So you could check this out and try it out for yourself if you just want to eat more than something. Just cubed up watermelons. If you want to spice it up a little bit, if you want to try sweet and salty versions, you will find everything to your taste, right? So I'm not going to leave you hanging. But returning to what else you can do as a man over 40 to make fat loss as simple and as easy for you as possible. What I would highly recommend you do is involve your family. Involve your family in your health goals. Don't get detached. Don't get someone who needs to be cooked for separately. No, try to incorporate those healthy meals into your family's diet. Try to create high protein, low calorie versions of the same meals that you've been eating at home today or with your kids, right? Show them how to work out. So if you don't want to go to the gym, just work out at home and work out with them. Lift them up, right? Do some cardio with them. So run around, chase them, take them to the park, take them to the zoo, whatever. Take them swimming with you. Whatever brings joy to them and brings joy to you. Show them how to lift dumbbells, right? They will be rooting for you because children always mimic their parents' behavior. So you want to be the man who just shows up, spends time with them, but also shows that, okay, I put my standards high. I want to feel good in my body. I want to perform well in my body, and I want to be confident about the man I'm looking in the mirror, right? I don't want to show you little kids a bad example by being overweight, by being obese, fat, low energy, sluggish, right? You want to show them that, okay, you are the superhero dad. You are that Greek god dad, right? Who's worth looking up to, because then they will more likely to listen to you and also more likely to want to be like you. One of my most controversial opinions about family is that if you don't want your daughter to become an OnlyFans hoe, probably should get in shape as a dad and show a great example. And I will keep myself to this value. And the same, if you don't want your son to become a deadbeat drug dealer, you better teach him early on the importance of sobriety, of good nutrition, being involved in some sort of sports or just athleticism, in general, lifting some weights, because it becomes crucial, super important for all of them. So I grew up in well, when it comes to school and the school community over there, like a highly drug infested environment, right? And the only thing that saved me from going towards that type of company, that type of people, that type of substance abuse, it was sports. It was powerlifting for me. This is what I fell in love with early on. This is how I started growing my strength, my muscles, improving my knowledge on the proper nutrition and recovery principles. And this is what kept me away from doing drugs. This is what kept me away from becoming a person who indulges in unhealthy behaviors. So I'm really grateful for that, and your kids will be grateful for that too if you set their standards high at a very early age or when they are teenagers, right? You can still have a lot of influence on them, and you can still have a lot of influence like over them. So you can affect them in a positive way. So always involve your family in your health goals, in your nutrition. Let them know about your bedtime routine, why it is important. And they will start following your habits. Like, you would be amazed how many of my 45-year-old clients just started telling me that their kids started doing their bedtime routines. Their kids started flexing their muscles in the mirror and stuff like that. And their kids started like climbing up to them when they're doing their mobility routine, and all this stuff, all the joy that brings a family together. You know, it shows when you start practicing your fitness habits consistently. So I highly recommend you do that, involve your family. Another thing is that for you as a man over 40, you want to abstain from alcohol as much as possible, and that doesn't mean that you can't drink. You just want to be strategic and smart about how you drink, who you drink with, and why you drink. So you're not drinking anymore to, you know, just fumble a 4 at a club, bring her home and, you know, get laid. You are not that type of person anymore. Probably you are conservative, you are married, and you have a family. And if you're this type of man, you don't really want to just fuck around and get drunk and show a bad example, right? And also, you don't want to be the dad who always drinks beer, because this is a stereotype nowadays in society that, you know, beer is a masculine drink, but no, it couldn't be further away from the truth. This is highly estrogenic, it makes you feel bloated, and the hop in there contains those type of xenoestrogens which will make you more woman-like. You will produce more female hormones, and that's why you grow a beer belly, and that's why you grow man boobs. So when your pecs get a little bit saggy over there, that's the man boobs. And you definitely don't want to look and feel like that. High estrogen, high stress, always depressed, you know, a little bit low mood, low motivation, and it just becomes easier and easier to accumulate more body fat, right? Harder and harder to get rid of that body fat. So definitely you want to get out of this devil's circle, stop drinking beer, and if you opt for drinking alcohol, just bear in mind that every time you drink alcohol, your body shuts down its fat loss, fat burning processes, because your body is poisoned. Alcohol is toxic, right? And your body will focus all of its efforts, all of its energy burning efforts towards getting the poison out of your body. It wants to push that fucking venom out of you. And that's why for 24 to 48 hours, you can expect the fat loss processes to stop in your body entirely. And you know, there's nothing wrong with drinking alcohol every once in a while. You can get away with it for, you know, a couple of times. I would say drink, limit it to like 3 to 4 drinks per week, right? Have some dry red wine, or maybe some champagne, or these clean and transparent spirits like vodka, tequila, gin, usually mixed with some 0-calorie tonic or vodka soda or whatever. These are pretty good. Have some sparkling water in between drinks, and you will be doing just fine. This is our bulletproof alcohol strategy that we follow with our clients as well, and they still manage to stay in shape while indulging in some drinks. But always remember, you're not going there to get blackout drunk. It's just like Alcohol is never the main course, it's just like a spice for an already nice and high value conversation. So always consider who you're drinking with, what milestone are you maybe celebrating, what is the reason of consuming alcohol. Alcohol is a culture drug, so everybody kind of like uses it. I can't tell you to stop using it entirely and go cold turkey on that, because of course sometimes you get euphoric, you feel good when you drink alcohol, but don't forget that this is still toxic, this is still a poison, and the other day you might get dehydrated. So you definitely want to make sure that once you go home you drink a lot of water, take a pinch of Himalayan salt, you just replenish yourself properly, take some magnesium, load back all the minerals that you have lost meanwhile drinking alcohol. And also make sure to fill yourself up with sparkling water in between drinks. Why? Because alcohol makes you hungrier also, so you're more likely to start snacking, just like after smoking video on the munchies, you start snacking, and it's harmful. You definitely want to fill yourself up with something in between, so you're less likely to overeat, meanwhile having a glass or two of red wine, okay? Nothing wrong with dry red wines, nothing wrong with vodka, tequila, gin, clean and transparent spirits, less likely to get you hangovers, so nothing wrong with that. Just keep these things in mind and keep these golden rules, and you will be just fine even if you are older than 40 or 50 years old. Of course, if you're epileptic or have some kind of a neurological disease and you're not allowed to drink alcohol, then don't do that at all, then go cold turkey, right? So there are some life situations where it is reasonable for you to completely abandon alcohol, alright? So now that you understand this, and now that you also involve your families, you got the basics right, the final thing that you want to do as a man over 40 or 50 is to increase your testosterone levels. We have already touched base on, okay, how do you do that via sleep, but there are other methods as well. Why testosterone? Because that's the primary male hormone, and also it promotes muscle growth, fat loss, and more energy. This is what will ultimately help you get your low energies and your lack of focus, your brain fog, go away. So if you often feel this kind of brain fog, that your mind just can't process the information, you can't just execute on your mental tasks as focused and as efficient as you want it to be, and definitely what you want to do is increase your testosterone levels to be more alert, to stay more focused, to be more energetic. And how you do that is by already nailing the basics, you can increase your testosterone levels by eating more protein, getting in like 150 to 180 minutes of intense workout every single week, right? Increasing your step counts, being more active, sleeping better. So by these basic lifestyle choices, you should have already doubled your current testosterone levels. Okay, but what then? So you want to definitely take care of your mineral intake, especially when it comes to zinc, copper, boron. These are amazing for testosterone levels. And if you even want to increase it further, right, it's very important to get enough sunlight, enough vitamin D, right? At least 20 to 30 minutes per day, natural exposure to sunlight, super crucial. And then finally, what you want to do is you might as well look into some certain types of supplements. You don't necessarily go for the one with the best marketing or like the strongest dick pill on the market. You want to go for herbs that have been proven to increase testosterone level and sperm count and male fertility for hundreds or thousands of years, right? You might want to try ashwagandha, you might want to try tongat ali, fenugreek, some kind of garlic extract, tuberous terrestris. So there are some herbs, but they come at the bottom of the list because first you want to optimize your lifestyle, you want to get more sunlight, you want to get more of these minerals like copper, boron, and zinc, and then finally you might as well try some herbs, some aphrodisiacs. So this is my advice summed up for men over 40 and 50 to make getting a slim waist, being lean and energetic, and to become unrecognizable in the next 6 months. This is my advice for you that you could take away. This is how you make it easy. This is how you make it streamlined and simple as possible for you. And I know this video might get a little bit overwhelming to you with all the information I have just poured out. So if you find it a little bit difficult to just get these systems copy-paste themselves into your own lifestyle, feel free to go to the description and book a free call with us. If you are ready to get started right away, if you're ready to invest in your health and you don't want to procrastinate anymore, if you're not afraid of your own success and you believe in yourself and you believe that there is a proven system that can get you there in less than 2 to 3 hours per week without counting calories, and you're not the type of person who wants to waste his time, then definitely book a free call with us and we will craft up a game plan for you on how we would make this happen over the next 6 months, and we'll give you a roadmap on how that would look like, and we can talk about working together one-on-one. But if you're the type of person who prefers to procrastinate or tell himself these sweet little lies that, okay, I'm not ready for this, I'm not ready for changing my lifestyle, or I don't have time for this, I have bad genetics, my metabolism is not good, or this is just not the right time for me, and I don't think it would work for me, why would it work for me, right? Or if you are just simply afraid of your own success, so what if it ends up working, right? Because of course it works, you just don't believe in yourself yet because your mindset is not strong enough. You need to get your brain in shape to make this happen in your body as well. So if you're at this spot right now, of course I do not recommend you to book a free call with us, so let's not waste each other's time. But I highly recommend you to check out my previous videos where I help you exactly with that, getting your mind in shape so you are ready for the biggest transformation in your life, which you will be able to sustain for decades to come. Because what are results worth if you can't sustain them and you fall back out of shape, right? This is something that we definitely want to avoid. And if you generally find this video useful and you think this is some information that you could use, or your friends, your family, your teammates could use, then send this to them and press the like and the subscribe button, and see you in the next one.